Now, let's start with an example. So, the best examples I can come up with are from America. In America, because each state has got very different ways of working, a lot of things change over time. So in India, what happens is our economy is basically run by the central government. And the wealth of a city is obviously dependent on the state governments, but the overarching principles of the economic foundations are laid down by the central government. In the United States, the overarching principles are half to 40% laid down by the central government, but 60% is laid down by the state government. And each state government can adopt its own policies of how it can, bring benefit to the citizens. And this is, I think, very important, because one of the things I've realized is that there are states that are so different economically. It's interesting, because when we talk about culture, obviously there are going to be differences all over the country. In America, in India, we have got such a huge number of cultural differences, even between people that live 10 kilometers from your city. And it's very interesting. So obviously the cultural differences will be there, but we don't want to talk about that today. We'll talk about politics later. Let's talk about the economy. So I want to first take the example of California. Now, the California state law gives a lot of protection to the consumer, and I think that's very important. Unfortunately, it does bring up some Karens and Keishas and male Karens and all that, but for the most part, it is very, very, very good. It's very robust. It keeps the business owners on his toes. It keeps the laborers on their toes. California also has got such a robust union system. Now, the problem with California's labor union is that it's very corrupt, but if run right, it will be great. The problem with California is that it gives no say to the producer. See, that's the problem with California. If you do business in California, it's almost like you're not allowed to make a profit. In fact, they will run you out of profits, run you out of business. But they will protect the laborer and the consumer. And this is a huge issue. So today you see a lot of small businesses running away from California because it's impossible to be a producer there. They've driven people out of the state. And the reason why this is so important and how this completely links with the wealth inequality that I'm talking about is that the billion-dollar businesses, guys like Google, Apple, Facebook, Microsoft, they don't have a problem being in California, because billion-dollar businesses can work there. This is the problem of only focusing on labor and consumer. You're going to have huge inflation in the market. So the consumer cannot negotiate with the labor. That's the problem there. Meaning the labor cost keeps increasing. But who's going to fix that labor cost? The consumer should be able to afford it. Right? So his cost, he's also laborer, his labor cost also increases. The problem is the business owner sees the hit. He sees the problem. He's not able to raise prices after a certain level because the consumers are protected. So every time the labor cost increases by 10%, he has to take 2% hits in profit. Because the consumer is saying, no, you got to only sell the product to me at 8%. And the state doesn't give any protection to the producer. So he has to take 2% hits in profit. Now this builds up over time, to the point where today Californians are fleeing producers are feeling. So the fact that there is no incentive to do business in California is being made apparent now, because the producers have got no protection. Now here's the problem. The small businesses cannot keep affording an increase in the cost of labor. The big businesses can, because the big businesses are operating on the global economy. They're reaping the benefits of fighting globally. They have got more funds to work with, more cash flow. They don't have a problem with labor increases, increase in labor costs. But the small guy does. And this is one of the biggest issues right now in the state of California. Small businesses cannot survive. Big businesses are the only businesses that survive. And you know what? That's creating a huge wealth inequality. In the same street, you have a multi-million-dollar property and a homeless guy with a paper tent outside. And that's the problem. The big business guy who works on the global economy can benefit. The guy that works in the local economy can never win. And that is a capitalist system done wrong. Like wrong. You can give protection to labor and consumer, but if you forget the producer, then people will run away. Thank you for listening. Consider liking the video and comment if you have an opinion. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos of this kind. Thank you.